Evilslothman here, back for another vid. Hello! Yes, today is a pickups vid. Yes, it's been a little while since I've done pickups. Like I said, it was going to be the 3DS. Really just killed my finances, but it's paid off a little bit today in the reward of game points. But we'll get to that. That's far and away. First things first, the games challenge. I will be doing it probably Wednesday night. I'll put the video up. I do have my copy of Super Mario Kart right there. It's fairly tatty. That was Game Station putting the cling film around it and making it look like it was all there, and it wasn't. I really hate them for that. It doesn't have the insert, so it can't keep sturdy, and so if you put any little pressure on it, it just crumples. But I've never been the biggest fan of Super Mario Kart. I find there's two kinds of players on Mario Kart. People that always like Super Mario Kart and never thought everything was... Well, they like the other ones, but always think that Super Mario Kart was the best one. And ones that absolutely despise Super Mario Kart and like and adore every other one. And I'm in the latter. My favourite one's Double Dash. And so... And I absolutely love Mario Kart Wii as well. I spent... so long trying to unlock stuff on Super Mario Kart Wii. There was that week I had off and I spent hours, me and Cyberlanky played hours online trying to beat people that were cheating. Just for the sheer enjoyment of just pissing people off because they thought just because they were cheating they could win and didn't have to use any skill. Whereas we just... Well, I find that Mario Kart Wii is cheating anyway because it has bikes in it and bikes are just basically cheating. You can use boosts on straights and that's just too much of an advantage. You do not have enough bends to compensate for that. It's what it is what it is. So off tangent, but yes, I will be getting up on Wednesday. I thought I was going to get it done tomorrow night, but there's a change of plan. I'm going home tomorrow night. I'm going out to my parents tomorrow night. So I've got some pickups today. I went down to town. Well, I had another pickup on, what was it, Thursday night. But I don't want to do one for one. It's like you never want to watch a pickups for one game. It just seems a bit like you're trying too hard. So I waited off and I got some more today. So this is this. And the first one is Vanquish. Now this was actually still sealed as they were selling these copies off because nobody bought the game. And I bought this brand new for £17 and there's nothing wrong with it. It's completely still sealed and everything's completely fine with it. And I haven't actually played it yet, but I really like the look of it. It played just very interesting, very kind of fast, fluid and zipping between cover points and in that kind of Gears of War style, but kind of different as well, which I kind of appreciate. And I tried, well, before that they did Bayonetta, and I tried the demo for Bayonetta, and it was very Devil May Cry, but I never actually got the proper game, because I wanted to look out for the 360 version. Everywhere you find it's the PS3 version, because the PS3 version was meant to be a bit dodgy in the fact that it took forever for it to load up graphics and games. It just took forever to go, and the 360 version was a lot better in that regard, but I think if I find it cheap enough, I'll find it. But usually what I'm finding is like lots of PS3 copies and very few 360 copies. But that's just maybe my thing up here. The next game, I went into Cash Converters and I got a few games. So I got, the first one is Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm. This, if you remember, I got the second one and I bought it full price on my birthday. What kind of idiot was I? But full price for a game? It's not right, not right. But I had a feeling in the time that it would be rare and you wouldn't be able to find it. And to be fairly honest, that's pretty much true. I have not seen it recently. Then again, I've not really been looking for it. Basically, the first storm takes place in the Naruto continuity before it moves to Shippuden. And so a lot of the fights and everything are from the original series, which is fairly nostalgic now to go back to. I did have the GameCube ones that basically did do a lot of these stories anyway, each Naruto Geki Ninja Taisen game kind of did a separate chunk, and it was about the first few fights or something, and 3 and 4 you were getting to probably where this is, but this kind of accumulates all of them. It's a very different fighting game. Wonder if it's going to have like the cutscene kind of moves that the second one has. They're very, very cinematic, and it feels like you're in the anime because you have to do like all these tapping combos and everything, or like tap buttons and everything. So these quick time events actually work, but it kind of works. The only thing that dragged 2 down was the bits in between the fights, which were all these kind of RPG elements that remind you of like RPGs from the PS1 era, and they're slow, monotonous, and boring. Once you get into the fights, it's really fun, but it's getting there. It's really test your patience. But we'll see what the first one. I hear the first one doesn't have that kind of thing in it. It was much more straightforward in that, and that's maybe a good thing. But we'll see. I just bought these literally today, so I don't know. Next one is Chronicles of Riddick: Assault on Dark Athena. Now, I always heard back and heard stories of Chronicles of Riddick, the Escape from Butcher Bay, and it was a really, really good game. I never had the Xbox, so I never actually bought the game, but it was something I've always had in the back of my head and wanted to actually try out. I actually watched, what was it, when I went to cinema to see Chronicles of Riddick, and that was money I needed back. Oh my god, that film sucked. But the game was meant to be a lot better. I'm in a whole kind of weird Vin Diesel mood at the moment because me and my girlfriend have been going through and watching Fast and the Furious films, and stage of going to see Fast and the Furious 5. Weirdly enough, separately. We haven't actually watched them together, but we have watched them. Strangely enough. But, so, I just thought, I saw this today and I thought, it's got a remake of Butcher Bay on there in 360 graphics, as well as this whole new story of Dark Athena. And from what I've been told, I think it's meant to be really good. I watched some multiplayer of it once. I remember a long time ago, I think it was when it first came out. And it was on the multiplayer is meant to be really good as well. So we'll see how that's. I'm not the biggest fan of multiplayer, that's just the way I go, but that's all on its own. And the last one is actually the Xbox game, which I found for £2, and it is Grabbed by the Ghoulies. Now, and it's all there and everything. It's in really, really good condition. Now, I'm just a big Rare fan, as anyone is. It's going to be coming from an N64 era of the system. Rare basically put out so many good games in the N64 that it comes with a quality that you trust that company completely. It was like when I bought the 360 in the first place, 2 of the launch titles were the Rare ones. It was Perfect Dark Zero and Cameo were two of the games, as well as Project Gotham Racing, but 3. But, well, I absolutely loved Cameo, so it's not about Perfect Dark was not as good as the first one, let's put it that way, and probably not as good as getting Call of Duty 2 at the same time would have probably been, but that's another story for another day. This I actually know nothing really about, just that it's really a Rare game and it looks interesting. So I'm hoping it's on the emulation bit of the 360 and can work on it. It's on the emulation list. I know that some of them have big issues, and have graphical glitches and everything. It's like we did have the Xbox for a little while. Mike Cyberlanky had for a little while, but he sold it on because he just wasn't playing it. But we'll see. Maybe one day. It's probably going to be a time where I need a little bit more space and we've got a little bit more money and everything coming in. That's a thing for another day entirely. Right, and the last one is something I've wanted since it came out. Now, a lot of people went and bought the PS3 for a lot of other things. I bought it for Little Big Planet. That was the game that I absolutely saw and said, I need to play that game. come from the 16-bit era, and in the 16-bit era, there's two types of games that are really apparent, which were platforming games and RPGs, and I was the platforming guy. So a lot of my favorite games are platformers. This is kind of my favorite genre. So this is it's Little Big Planet 2, and there was reasons I didn't buy it. One, I didn't want to buy it full price because I'm a skinflint and cheap ass. Two, really and honestly, I heard there was a few glitches, especially with the online, the first few weeks, and I thought, I'll wait a few weeks and see if these glitches get patched in and everything, and I think they have been. And the last thing was, by this point, a lot of the levels, the level creator and everything would be kind of defined. I know they had a beta before and they had a lot of people working on it, but pretty much the game has now been out for a few months, so people have had a chance to really get some really nice levels designed for it. And I thought, well, now's the time to go in there. And the last thing was the price. It was $19.99 in game right now. And I went up to the till and forgot that I'd put all these points on when I got the 3DS and all the consoles, and spent like £330 in the game. And I thought, okay. It says, well, you have 20 quid of points. It was like, awesome! I get this game for nothing! And it's brand new. It was sealed. I just broke the seal on it. And yeah. Happy days. So yeah, it's basically, that was all the game pickups. One other thing I've just picked up today was the book of Game of Thrones, which this has the TV cover. Usually I'm a big stickler of not buying the TV cover versions of these things because I kind of like the original art and everything on them, but I kind of like that image. And the other version they had, the text was fairly blurry. It had like this, it had been printed kind of weird. It wasn't exactly clear. But this is a new series. It's just started off on Sky, Atlantic HD, and it's been going. It was on tonight. I just watched the second episode, and it's really, really good. I just love the acting of it, and my going through and watching everything in it. It's a very fantasy thing, but it's got a much more adult theme to it than, say, Lord of the Rings. And this is the first book. There is now, was going to be 6 because the 6th one's out in, well, this is book 5 because it's split 3. This is really being pedantic, but it's out in June. But it's a really fascinating story. It mixes up and takes you from everywhere. So it takes, especially in the first episode, it was really took you everywhere, and you had to really keep up in exactly which characters were which and what house they belonged to and everything. And the book's meant to be very much similar to that. And I've only just read the first 2 chapters or something of it so far. I really got home about 7, went out to Red Cross, come back, and that's been about it. So I'll probably take this with me, and I'll probably take my 3DS tomorrow, and we'll get stuck into that. I don't know whether to keep on reading past what the series is going to be and then spoil it for myself, or just read up to where it is. But now I'm kind of just reading what I'm watching, and that's fairly pointless in itself. I know the book is usually always better than the film, but still, it's a little bit annoying. But rightio, that's my pickups. Like I say, the SNES challenge, well, the speed run on, was it Ghost Valley 1? I will do that on Wednesday. I will suck at it. And little Michael's, yeah, you evil for picking at any other Mario Kart game I would have been alright at. I do have a really good idea for a challenge if I win. I might just do it myself anyway, but I have one I've got in the back of my mind that I'd like to do, or like to put up. And it's kind of evil in itself. But we'll get to that. Right, this is Evilslothman. Out.